So I'm the former chair of the Scottish Secular Society. My name's Spencer Files, and there's something that I think people have been overlooking from a secular perspective around free speech. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about something that's fundamental to a fair and open society, and the right to speak our minds, to debate, to criticise, to dissent, and to exercise our freedom of speech. But it's under increasing pressure, right? We all know it is. And it's not from mobs or militias, but from legislation and definitions that are beginning to treat disagreement as discrimination. An example of this is the government's proposed and widely debated definition of Islamophobia. In 2018, an all-party parliamentary group of British Muslims proposed this following working definition: that Islamophobia is rooted in racism, and a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness, whatever that means. At first glance, you might think, well, that's kind of reasonable. We should oppose bigotry and hatred. But I'm a secular advocate of free speech, right? And I believe this definition is horrendously flawed. And if it gets enshrined in laws, it poses a serious threat to expression in the UK. And let me explain why. There's 4 areas I want to talk about. First, vagueness. It's the enemy of liberty, vagueness, because we don't know exactly what Muslimness even means. Does it include religious dress, political views, dietary habits, cultural traditions? Vagueness here isn't accidental, by the way. It's intellectually dishonest and dangerous, and opens the door for absolutely any criticism of Islam and its institutions to be reframed as racist. And when laws are ambiguous, they're not used to protect, they're used to silence you. And you know this. Secondly, an idea is not a race. Catholicism is not a race. And one of the most concerning aspects of the definition is how it treats a religion as a belief system as though it was a race, and it's not. Let's be clear. They just cannot be races. They're races. They're ideas, and they're sets of ideas. And in a free society, you should be free to criticise them. To criticise Catholicism is not to hate Italians, or criticise Hindu nationalism is not to hate Indian people. And to target Islam is not to hate Muslims. We should be free to do that. We should be free to criticise these things and have an open and honest debate in the public square about how these things are. Thirdly, there's a thing called the chilling effect, and that's already here. We see people censor themselves. People are investigated or warned for expressing views that aren't even controversial or offensive because they incite violence and hatred. This definition of Islamophobia, when it becomes official, you can expect more academics avoiding critical research on Islamic history. You'll see journalists self-censor themselves on reporting on extremism. You'll see activists that are terrified to speak about gay rights, women's rights, or apostasy in these communities. Think about that. Horrific. That's not theoretical. It happens across the world already. And then when they're afraid to speak, it results in stagnation, resentment, and disharmony. Fourth, equal treatment is not special protection. We cannot have that. A secular state protects its people, not ideas. We should ensure that no religion is placed above that, above criticism, a belief system. It shouldn't be given special legal immunity to be challenged. We don't have blasphemy laws in this country anymore. We shouldn't reinvent them through the back door either. Because see, once you do this and you make it illegal to criticize one set of ideas, they'll all follow. So what are we going to do? You've got to defend the right to disagree. You have to do that. So let me just say this. Free speech is not a comfortable thing. It means hearing things you dislike, you may hate, you may find offensive. But the solution to bad ideas is better ideas, not bans, vague laws, definitions to confuse people that cause prejudice and disagreement. If you want a society that's really inclusive, you've got to be free to speak honestly, even about things that are really hard to talk about. Free speech isn't just the right, it's the foundation of absolutely every single thing we have in our liberal society. And we've got to have the courage and the commitment in an open society to stand up and defend it. I understand it's difficult. You have friends around you that you don't want to say certain things because you don't want to offend them, whether it's in the executive suite, the corporate room, in the swimming pool, at the football. Everyone self-censors anyway because there's a degree of civility to that. But when things are really difficult to talk about, like female genital mutilation, forced marriages, a lack of integration, races not mixing, then that's not a multicultural society by any means. That's a society that are living in small bastions of tribes. That's all it is. And that's not how things work, because when you do that, you stop talking to each other. And when you don't talk to each other, you don't understand each other. So free speech, you have to defend it. Now, the reason I'm saying this isn't just in my position as someone who believes in a strong secular society. It's an appeal. It's an appeal to people who are like me, right? Those that are in this comfortable middle class bubble. Now, I happen to find myself in that, and I'm a working class man. But hey, I'm asking you, go to London on September the 13th. Just be there. You do not have to like the people that are organising it. You do not have to agree with them on anything else that is happening. But this kingdom needs united. It does. It needs us all to come together under a single set of principles that we can all move forward in this country on. Because right now, you may have noticed, it's not working. The very fabric of everything that we are in this amazing, beautiful liberal democracy that we've taken for granted for far too long is beginning to disintegrate. And we need to show each other, no matter what race, religion, colour, culture, creed you are, that you believe in the idea that is the UK, and that we stand together to make sure that going forward, we protect it at all costs.